What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be checking out my 1969 big block 4-speed Corvette Stingray. So this car has a lot of history. This is actually a father and son build, but it dates back before that. So in 1972, my dad's friend bought this car from a dealership outside of Philadelphia called Ron Levitt's, and they actually drove this car around in high school, which is crazy. And then after that, like 10 years later, that guy sold it to another one of their friends. He ended up blowing the engine up. Maybe 10 years later after that, my dad bought the car. It was sitting in a barn with the original 427 out of it, and at that point he started full frame off restoration. I was a little younger then, and I just kind of was starting to help out with the project, and as I was growing up and into cars and became a mechanic and a fabricator, I was taking over the build with him. And now it's my car, and I'm taking it to a different level now, and even though it looks like it's done, it's kind of far from it. I have to go back over, you know, so many things on it, the brakes and all that kind of stuff, but we're going to document it on this channel. We're going to show you everything that I'm going to do to it. So as much as it looks really cool now, I'm going to just take it to a whole different level. So we're going to get ahead and go over this, take a walk around. I'm going to tell you the story about it with mainly the bodywork on the side of this car. If you can kind of tell, it has very wide motion style fender flares and fender louvers on the car. This was actually done when the car was purchased in '72, so we are pretty much 100% sure either the body kit was purchased from Motion Performance and it was definitely put on by a professional shop, because it had a custom paint job on it, which you can see in the picture here. And it was, when the paint was all stripped off, you could see that it was done right. So pretty much from 69 to 72, we don't know the history of it, but we're going to definitely find that out. But from 72 to right now, it's been in our family circle. So let's go ahead and take a look at this thing. We're going to do a walk around and check it out. All right, here we go. So this is actually a custom red paint. I believe it might actually be a Mitsubishi color on it. That's an L88 hood with a little notch to make room for a 502 Ramjet that's in there. And this is what I'm talking about with the fender flares. So if you're familiar with the 69 Corvette, they don't have any fender flares, and the louvers are just rectangles. Now these are not L88 aftermarket fender flares on this car, and it's been like this since 1972, and we have all the pictures showing that through the whole process. So you have chrome hooker headers, chrome side exhaust, and then in the back here you can see how wide this thing is here. And then just another sneak peek in the front of that thing sticking out. It's very similar to like the 72 and up, I believe, because my 73 has a little bit of a fender flare, but definitely not this wide. So, and they're lightweight LCO design deck trims. They're out of aluminum, and then a Le Mans race cap with a custom mounting bracket on it, and then a smoothed out rear pan, which is all original to us. So the paint is great on this car. There was a crack. It was just at a body shop by us called the Vet Shop. If you're in Bucks County and you have a Corvette, if you know of them or haven't heard of them, check them out. They do amazing work. We've had them do a couple crack repair and damage repair on this car over the last couple years, and they are just very professional and great work. They've been in business for a long time. So as you can see in the front, they still have to finish putting the front end together and all that. So that's the body of the car, and they are 20x10s all the way around. They're Coy's wheels, and the front are 255/30 ZR20. The backs are 305/35 ZR20. They're actually a little bit bigger. I'm worried now that they're actually going to kick up and blow the quarter out. So I'm going to probably end up going with a little something smaller and then just camber it in a little bit for clearance purposes there. So let's go ahead and move into the interior and check it out. So these are actually the original door panels on the car, the original upper dash pad on the car, and the dash and all the gauge clusters and center console, all that kind of stuff is original. Now the seats have been recovered, and these actually had factory headrest and factory shoulder harnesses that came in. It was an option, and it had the fiber optic light display on it too. And this is a full loaded AC car, and it was original 427 390 horsepower car with a Muncie M22 rock crusher in it, and the car actually only has 48,000 miles on it. So let's go ahead and pop the hood. There you go, Ramjet 502, and it probably only has like 20 or 30 miles on it. I mean, this thing's been sitting for so long, but it runs great, and it was definitely something that we wanted to do. And I put this engine in, like I said, at least over 10 years ago when I put it in. So it makes about 502 horsepower and 565 foot-pounds of torque. And aluminum radiator, and we have the March pulley system in the front of it. So it runs good and it sounds good. So the original engine, like I said, it was blown up in the car and it was put aside, and we had a 396 in this for a while and just had a bunch of issues with it and spun a bearing. So then I ended up putting this 502 in it. All right, so that about do it for the video today. So we are gonna get this at the shop and start doing some work. So if you enjoyed the video, press like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more Corvette stuff. Thanks again for watching.